Excellent.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dan. I'm on the customer operations team here at Buildxact, and I'm going to be taking you through a session all around Takeoff tips and tricks, which focuses primarily on the AI reader off the plans. If you've gone and seen one of the booths, it's the same product that you would have seen there, but we can take you through a live demo and show you exactly how it works. So the goal of the session is, as kind of mentioned, we want you to understand how it works, give you an opportunity to ask questions. So if you're wandering around and you want to come up and ask questions, that's completely fine. I'll take questions either throughout or at the end. I'm not too fussed either way. So the steps we're going to take for this one, we're going to look at auto scaling, which also includes auto naming. And that's basically you load the plans in and rather than having to do that scaling naming yourself, we do that for you. And then probably the highlight of the show is the auto takeoffs, because we're saving you the time manually measuring it, which is substantial. So let's go across to here. Hopefully you can all see. Well, I've started with an estimate. I've built this up already. I'm going to go into the plans and takeoffs, and I'm going to talk about the process from here. So for a moment, if you weren't using the AI, the process would be loading the plans. You have to manually scale them. You have to manually name them. I would name them anyway, so this is a great feature for me where it just makes it a bit quicker. So like I was saying, I'm in the plans and takeoffs. If you weren't using the AI tool, you'd be manually loading, manually naming. So let's go do this. Upload a plan. I've got auto scale enabled. Auto scale, what it does is it's looking on the plan for like 1/4 inch to 1, or if you're metric, 1 to 100, etc. It's looking for that scale that's predefined. And as I load this in, let's just go, that'll do. One thing I generally don't do, but you have the option, is if you get a particularly large plan set, you can go, hey, maybe I'm just doing the plumbing or the flooring. I just need page 3, 6, and 9. And you select that, really just brings the loading speed down, loading time down. Personally, I load everything and I just work it out from there. So you can see what it's doing, detecting scales. It's reading the page to find that 1/4 inch, that 1/2 inch, whatever it be listed as. And once it gets through this, it'll go into the auto naming. So you will get a little pop-up going, hey, auto detected scale. A couple of, scenarios just to highlight here. We will sometimes get plans where there's multiple scales on it, like this actual wall elevations, for example. In that case, it has no idea what scale you want to use, so we leave it unscaled for you to tell us. In the case, we have had cases as well where there'll be 2 different scales on one page, but only one scale listed. It picks up the one. So as with anything AI, we're doing the bulk of the work, and you should verify and check it for yourself. You can naturally change the scale if you need to do that. You can see here, second floor plan. I would have named them anyway because it gives me the irrits if I'm going through pages and I have to remember like page 6 is this, page 12 is that, and then I'm flipping through and I mess it up. So I name them anyway. For me, this is a great little bonus time saver. And from here, let's go into the auto measuring side of things. So we've got 2 main ways of doing this. We can do what's called floor areas, which it's just identifying rooms. It's taking the name and it's giving you the readout of all the measures. Perimeter, that's really good for wrapping room by room. You can do it for, say, baseboards, and it measures that. You can also get the output of that and go, hey, it's an 8-foot ceiling, times by 8, and we get the surface area of those walls as well. Additionally, on the floor area, while it's doing its thing, I would absolutely use that for ceilings, assuming a flat ceiling, because as long as the walls are straight, they should be the same. And what it's doing, to give you some context into how it's doing this, this has been trained off, I think it's upwards of 50,000 plans. What it's looking for is the different wall styles. So it's learned over the training that, hey, this dark line we'll use for exteriors, or in other parts of the world, it'll be a thatched kind of crosshatch line. It's looking for those. It's looking for things it recognizes. And as always, it's going to do 90% of the work. I've had cases where it's looked at the stairs, like where you can kind of see behind here. It's got the stairs will often have a diagonal line across it, and it cuts it in the wrong place. I can go edit that. Or sometimes it'll miss a closet. Again, I can edit that. Now, it's doing a bit of a think. We're having a lot of fun with 1 million people using the Wi-Fi at once. So give it a second. What it'll spit out once it's done this final step is a list of all the room names. So there you go. That was actually pretty good. I think it's 100% on that one. So it's then given me the names. It's read those off the plan. Bedroom 2, bathroom. One personal preference I do, I go and name them. So I'll say upstairs bath or downstairs bath, powder room, etc. Mainly just if it's named the same, I find that a little confusing, and I just want to know which one's which. So you can absolutely do that. If at this point you want to add your own custom measurements, in the case maybe it missed something or you just want to measure something else, of course you can do that. Let's move on to the next one, and then I will, just while we're here, I will go through some of the different manual takeoff options. I find that the word manual gets kind of the association of, well, it's going to take forever. Manual is really just you doing it yourself versus the AI doing it. It's still a lot quicker than a scale rule and a highlighter. The guy at our hotel, we went down to have dinner. There was a guy highlighting plans. Had a chat to him. Saw him at breakfast this morning. He's still highlighting. So anything that can cut some time down, like that's what we're about. Cool. I'll do a perimeter one just for example's sake. Like I said, I would use this for baseboards. I would, if the lineal footage that it spits out, I would also take that measure and multiply it by a height for surface area. You can use this in a whole number of ways. And again, it's going to do its thinking. The output of this one will be slightly different. Not only that one was square foot, but one was linear foot. The way it names it, it'll name as like bathroom 1, perimeter, bedroom 2, perimeter. Now, red on red, I would personally have changed the color. I forgot to do that, but red on red's a bit hard to see. I'm just going to hide some of these ones so you can get a better sense of what's in there. I guess while I'm doing this, the hide function you can use for a number of things. If I have like regular drywall and then I've got a mold or water resistant drywall, I'm going to do them as 2 takeoffs, and then I would turn the different visibility items on so I can go, hey, between regular drywall and the moisture resistant board, did I get everything? So I use it more for the context of seeing what I've already done to then help drive the new takeoffs. If we get rid of a few more of them, go down the bottom, you'll start to see these perimeters in lineal foot. And if I get rid of that, personally I use an external mouse. I find it 100 times easier, but I'll make do with a touchpad. So you can kind of see the perimeters it's done here. And as always, if you go and point edit, and let's go on like that one, you can drag the points, you can add additional points, customize it. Again, this one did a pretty good job. It may be 100% perfect, but if you get that 90% and you fix a few things, still quicker than doing it yourself. And yeah, you can correct it as you need to. Any questions thus far from anyone sitting in that wants to know something? Feel free to yell it out. We will also have a bit of time for questions at the end. The fact that the feature is pretty quick means this demo is going to be a bit short, so we'll have time for that. Let's just save and close that. And I'm going to open the estimate costing, flooring. So let's add another one. Let's just say underlay. Don't judge me on my spelling. I'm very at peace with the fact I can't spell. So if I go like square footage, do that. This is just to highlight the so-called manual versus the AI tool. So underlay, we can do takeoff in square foot, linear foot, square yards, linear yards, cubic yards. We can count things, and if you're so inclined, we have the metric system as well that you can turn on. But I dare say it doesn't suit you guys here that well. Let's go square foot, and let's zoom in on this. A whole bunch of different shapes. Polygon is just a multi-point. Make whatever shape you want. It's good for floor areas where you've got weird hallways and things. Rectangle's a rectangle. Circle's a circle. Nothing too surprising. The continuous line is where you can, similar to the perimeter one we did before, you wrap the room and you tell us the height, and we then convert that to a surface area. We do bonus things like we've got an option for deductions. So if I was drawing on elevations for, say, siding, I would deduct the windows because I don't want to count that into the material bid. That said, you can absolutely leave it if you want to call it a wastage or like a contingency. That's no issue. I color code the life out of this because if you want to share this with somebody, and let's say in the case of an extension, you want to show that you've got the full house plan, but hey, it's just this bit we're touching. Don't count anything into your cost, or don't rip any of the other drywall out. That's not great. And as you'd expect, for things like roofing, vaulted ceilings, etc., you can tell us either the degrees if you're metric or the rise run, the 512, 612, 1012, what have you, off the plan. And we then draw it as though it was flat and add the factor to give that extra material for the extra surface. What have I missed? I think that brings me almost to the end. So if you've got any questions, absolutely shout out. If you want to grab us after the presentation, ask questions, or get a demo and other bits of the software, naturally do that. We're not going anywhere. We're here all day. And if you need more coffee as you start to tire out after the show because it's a long day, we've got coffee as well, so come say hi. Thanks so much. Appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you in the next one.